In studio right now is Bill Wolf and Frank Hoke. This is, you guys are with the Griffiss Institute.
That's correct.
And there's some really amazing things happening right now. You guys have what you're calling Demo Day, and there are, 5 or 6 teams?
6.
6 teams competing for startups that are in the technology field that fits in with what's going on at Griffiss right now. And somebody's going to win a lot of money.
That's correct. We have $300,000 in prizes. It's all next Thursday. It's going to be I'll call it a Mohawk Valley Shark Tank.
Okay, I like that. So.
Yeah, New York State came in with a grant for us. They gave us $2 million over 3 years for prizes for the competition. And if we kind of parse it out, that comes out to about $300, $200,000 for the first prize, $100,000 for the second prize. And the runners-up get 8 to 10K just to keep going.
That's really cool. Can we talk?
This is actually our 5th.
Hold on 1 second. I got to make sure you're up. And go ahead.
Yeah, this is actually our 5th year doing this. Previously known as the AFRL, Air Force Research Laboratory Commercialization Academy Demo Day. It is still known as that, but now we're doing IDEA New York, which is part of the renaming, the rebranding of the pitch contest itself.
Give us an idea of what people are pitching. You have 6 different startups that are vying for this. Can we get into what it is that they're pitching? Who wants to take that?
We can do a little bit. We don't want to give you too much because we don't want to spoil the surprise of the pitch, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So we have six companies. The first one is pitching some cyber-related protection for your computer.
Okay.
It kind of plugs in between your computer and the internet, so that gives you protection.
I like that.
There's one that is actually working with a health platform for cancer patients in China.
Wow.
And that's kind of a big data analysis, really, because what happens, the health system in China is not the same as here in this country.
Yeah.
And they end up seeing multiple doctors. And so each time, it's just like we do, whenever we see a doctor, he writes down his observations, but they're different observations, and you're starting from square one again.
Yeah, yeah.
So what happens over there, we have the technology they're using is to take all these documents and be able to spread them out, to read them electronically, and then pull out the information that is actually the same across all of them.
I see.
And then what they do is then they use American doctors to do the analysis for them. And it's been an interesting ride to hear how they're doing it. You know, obviously an application here there was a story on the television the other day about rural America losing their hospitals and physician care, and it's this seems appropriate for something like that as well.
Here, we're seeing it. We're seeing it right up here in upstate New York, and I believe there are programs right now for high school students. I'm just going through this because I have a daughter interested in the field. Where, for instance, in Herkimer County, where they struggle to keep doctors. If you commit to spending so many years practicing in Herkimer County, you get a free ride. They're willing to pay for your education, but you have to commit to. It shows you there's a bit of a shortage. I'm surprised when I think about what's going on at Griffiss. I'm thinking about drones. I'm thinking about technology in terms of safety of drones and military applications. I don't think about cancer. I don't think about health. So it's very interesting.
Well, it's part of our mission to take the technology out of the lab and then spin it to industry for commercialization. And you'd be surprised at different areas.
Yeah.
If you go back in time, give you an example, latex paint came out of the lab.
Never knew that.
Really?
Yeah. Back in the day when they were doing radomes and radar research, they needed a flexible paint for the radomes because they move in the wind and they expand and contract. And that was developed there. The CD.
The compact disc came out of Rome. Crazy, right?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Siri on your phone.
Can I, and the woman, by the way, the voice of Siri from Clinton, New York.
Came out of Rome and Clinton.
Very interesting. Can we get into the others, too? I want to make sure we at least touch on everybody. There's a contractor's mobile office.
Right. What they use is they use your iPad or other mobile device and take a picture. And from that picture, they are able to determine what the length, width, height of whatever you're trying to have the contractor do for you.
Got it. Okay.
And instead of taking a day or two for paperwork to follow later, it can be given to you fairly instantly.
Another one is what I would
cool.
expect is video streaming, live drone video streaming.
Absolutely, and that's a kind of almost a pay for hire type capability. If you want a particular video stream of somewhere in the United States, you can subscribe to them, and then they will, through social media, find someone who will do that for you, and there's probably a payment in there somewhere, but either way, you get the video yourself. Even weddings or honeymoons or who knows, vacations. Right. You never know what they
really
what
cool.
They want.
There's two others: leadership technology training, and then tooling assets with a pulse. And obviously you don't want to give away too much on these, but can you describe those two basically?
Well, the one called Stonewall Defense is basically they're tracking the large containers that metal scrap goes into.
Okay.
Apparently there's I won't call it a ring, but maybe it is a ring of people or have the capability to haul those off, and they make money off that scrap metal someplace else, including the container, which they can then cut apart. So this is a way of tracking that container so it's not lost. They can find it pretty much exactly where it is.
Fair enough. And then tooling intel.
That, to me, is the capability to, and it is actually a tooling dies, tooling
got it.
On the site type thing to be able to track those, kind of an inventory control real time.
Where do these startups come from?
All over.
All over the place. Yeah. All over New York or all over the country?
Well, all over the country. The one caveat is to qualify for Idea New York, they have to keep their company in New York for at least a year.
Okay.
Actually, in Mohawk Valley itself.
Mohawk Valley.
Right here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And you guys, you say this is your 5th year of doing this.
That's great.
Prior to this year, what are some of the accomplishments you'd like to?
We've had 46 startups over 5 years. Everything from telemedicine for pets to really high-tech computer security.
Yeah. And do they tend to stay here, or do they tend to set up shop and then go elsewhere?
We haven't necessarily put that big of a restriction on them.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of them are. We are really trying to focus, and we have been trying to focus on creating a infrastructure around the Utica-Rome area so that we have the capability to build up the economy. Now, with the Idea New York, it is a stringent rule that they must be here for a year, as Bill said.
$200,000 for first place, $100,000 for second. This is the 5th year. Obviously, it's too late for someone listening to this now if they have a great idea to get in on what's coming up. But
sign up for next year.
For future years. Is there a requirement that it must be in the tech field, must be UAS related? Anything? What are the requirements?
4 areas.
Yeah.
It's got to be either cyber, UAS, information systems, or big data.
Okay.
Those are the 4 areas that they'll know. But take that for what it's worth. That can be used in a number of ways. It's not that stringent.
Yeah.
And then where can someone go? Is there a web page where they can go?
We have a web page, Griffiss Institute web page. Yes, we try to run 2 cohorts a year.
And you never know when one of these startups turns into something that's really big, right?
Exactly.
I mean, everybody was a startup at some point.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And truthfully speaking, the statistics for startups are not very good.
Right.
But we've got somewhere around a 80% success rate.
Wow.
So they're still viable versus about 4% viability rate in the rest of the country.
What are you seeing when it comes to technology? I mean, we're moving so quickly. It almost seems as if you start up a business and you're starting up on, I mean, Nano is kind of a good example. It seems like we're moving so quickly. By the time you set up shop and you get going, the technology is passing you by. What do you guys see?
Right now, big pushes in quantum, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Would you want to add anything, Frank?
Yeah, I know. I'd say that's the big 3 right now.
Yeah. Okay.
The artificial intelligence stuff is kind of scary, if you ask me. It's like...
I wonder, I had this conversation with somebody who's actually in the field that you're talking about and has been working with New York State, working with the federal government and Griffiss on a project. But our conversation yesterday was about the revolution in our economic system that is coming. Now, whether that happens in the next 10 years or maybe the next 30 years, at some point, the automation and computers and artificial intelligence, and right now the labor workforce, it's kind of like this, but at some point, that number of automation, that percentage is going to really outperform humans to the point where how do we go on making our money? How do families make money? Do we all own a robot? Do we all own some sort of artificial technology and we reap the benefits?
I think you kind of see that already. And
It's
been
coming.
going on because we're pretty much service-oriented as an economy now versus manufacturing.
Right.
Although the manufacturing is getting a bump right now. But really, we're more service-oriented than everything. You see the sales and operations and things like that. You know, that's where people have to gravitate to.
And no matter what, we have had a bump in manufacturing, but then you see stories out of Detroit where another plant is closing, or Remington Arms, our own local story, where the gun market is flat and they're laying off manufacturing people. Imagine the number of guns that they're putting out. Remington's a great example because the number of guns that they're able to put out today. That it took them 3,000 employees years ago with one plant, 3,500 employees. Today, they have about, say, 800 employees. But with the technology, they can produce so much more. And that's really what we're facing where we are today. But where's it going to be in 20 years?
Impossible to tell.
It really is.
It really is.
And that's
if
what
you,
makes
if you went back 20 years, would you predict where we are now?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, when computers first came out, there was that big hyperactivity about the computers are going to replace humans.
Right.
They haven't yet.
Yeah.
But with some of this new technology and new areas of research, it's potentially possible.
You know, at night when I would go to bed, my wife used to talk to me. But the phone has replaced me. So it's already happening. It's already happening out there. I might as well be in bed alone these days. Gentlemen, this is really awesome stuff. And so for this year, obviously it's too late to get in. But
you can attend. You can attend.
Okay.
This is open. Please come to our website. There's a registration right there. You don't have to register. We like it if you do, so we have an idea how many people. But just come to the Griffiss Institute on the
21st. Next Thursday.
21st from 5 till 8 p.m.
Exactly. Light refreshments.
And who knows, you're going to be sitting in on something that could become just historic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You may see the next day Apple there.
Pretty cool. All right, gentlemen, nice job. Thank you so much. And again, the website, again, to go to is?
GriffissInstitute.com.
Cool.
Or .org, pardon me.
.org. GriffissInstitute.org. And the event is coming up on March 21st.